Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I've got a significant cord management problem in my garage. I basically have extension cords hanging on nails and bike hooks and things like that. And I decided that this would be a good time to upgrade to one of these retractable extension cord systems, and it turns out at about the same time VEVOR contacted me and said, hey, do you want to try one of these things out? And I said, sure. I looked through them and chose this one. It's a 50-foot, it's a DL610, it's a 50-foot 14 gauge with a lit triple plug and a 13 amp circuit breaker right there. Mounts either vertically or horizontally. I'm going to mount it on this bracket. The bracket, you can mount it direct or you can mount it on a bracket. The reason I'm going to use a bracket here is because I also want to be able to take this thing off. A lot of folks are using these, they carry them in the back of their truck because the trucks have power ports or 120 AC in the bed, and then they can just grab one of these, whether they're using it on a work site or camping or whatever, overlanding to run power tools while you're doing some road repairs. But I thought that the 14 gauge was going to be plenty for the stuff I do. What do I use it for? Most of the time right now I'm using cordless tools, so like circular saws and things like that. I don't need power for anymore if I'm doing stuff in the driveway. And 13 amps is not a lot. Plus, you might want to go with 12 gauge instead of 14 if you're running heavier stuff. The stuff I do, engine block heaters, battery chargers, extra lighting, recharging Milwaukee batteries, running audio, and a lot of small electronics, things like that, where I just want to pull out a cord and connect it up. Sometimes working in the evenings, especially in the summer, set up some lighting to keep going. But that's why I got this, and I'm excited to install it. And I've got a horrendous problem at the moment, especially when it's really cold out, because the extension cords I use, they never seem to wrap up very well. So I end up just kind of throwing them in a pile. So hopefully this will straighten that out. It's a fairly heavy duty unit. When you lift it up, it uses kind of a, I'm not sure what the type of plastic is. It doesn't feel, take that off, it doesn't feel like a hard plastic, kind of soft. I can see a little bit of motion. That's probably good. And then it's got about a 4-foot extension here before you get to the cord, this plastic ball that hopefully slides a little if you really slam the cord in hard. And then it's got about, I think it said like 44 feet inside here. So it's a 49 footer. If I haven't measured it, I'm not going to bother. But that's about what I use in standard with extension cords. I don't use 100-foot ones very often. I usually have another power access point closer. But I also know that I'm not real good about putting them away, or at least wrapping them up tight, and usually by then, my hands are all dirty as I'm trying to slide it through, to make my loops. For mounting it, comes with 4 lag screws here. That's probably what I'll do. If you've got a, newer construction, it may not have, actual heavy wood. Maybe it does. So it also comes with some expansion bolts as well. And this does have a light inside it. You can kind of see there's a little light. I like that. I still have other translucent head extension cords. But most of the time all my old stuff was either just the raw cords, or I actually did use a I have Woods power caddies, which use the hand crank to pull these cords back in. And this is just like a giant upgrade, even though it's really common. But for a DIYer, it's like moving into a professional space, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to go outside, show you what I'm up against, and then quickly install it and try it out. With that, hang on. Alright, so I'm out here in the garage, and what I've got is a mess. You can see all the cords. They're piled behind the bikes and skis. In fact, right up here where I'm kind of pointing behind that ski is where the outlet is. And then I've got the cords, and then I've got more cords piled up on the ground. And usually there's stuff in the way, so I end up not trying to wrap up the cords. I just toss them back over there. By the way, while I'm doing this, I'm illuminating it with a VEVOR light. You can see this is the back end of a work light, and I'm powering it with a a Milwaukee pack out, or excuse me, a Milwaukee top off. It's one of these big old 9 amp-hour batteries, M18 on plugged into this thing. If you haven't used these are great. I've done a video. Maybe I'll do it again because they're so cool. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now is select a spot on that wall somewhere, probably back in here, and I'm going to declutter all this, and then I am going to pull the probably the hooks off and line up the VEVOR. So I'm going to put this thing on and let's see. So hang on. Well, there it is. Looks good. I attached it up there to a stud by that outlet. Let's see if it works. So here's the cord. Nice. Works fine. I'm out probably 20 feet. Good. There it is. The VEVOR extension cord, self-retracting. And with that, Doc out.